Guess the winner of today's ball game, Wally Whitehurst. Mets Baseball 91 is produced and directed by Jeff Mitchell. Associate producer, Steve Obaum. The announcers on the preceding telecast were approved and contracted for by Sterling Doubleday Enterprises. Our executive producer is Rick Miner. This has been a presentation of WWOR-TV, Universal 9 Sports. Korner is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. And by NatWest Banks, raising the standards of banking. And by Mitsubishi, bringing you a full line of award-winning automobiles. See them all at your Mitsubishi Motors dealers. Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to KINER'S Corner from San Diego. Our special guest will be Wally Whitehurst, who pitched that masterful game, went 5 innings, was the winning pitcher in the ball game. We'll also be taking a look at the highlights of the ball game and the scoreboard of all the games in the National and the American Leagues right after this message from Budweiser. Our special guest is Wally, and Wally, congratulations on a very fine pitching performance, especially after not being in the starting rotation. It really has to make you feel good.
Well, I was concerned about my last start was the second game in Philadelphia, and then I went to the bullpen over the homestand, and I haven't pitched in about 10 days, so I was concerned about if I felt too strong. And I was once I went out and warmed up, I did feel strong, but I just tried to concentrate on keeping control of myself and keeping the ball down and establishing in right away, and I thought I did that pretty well.
Had good velocity. It looked like you were throwing the ball very well, and you had that good curveball as always.
Well, you know, pitching 10 days, you tend to have pretty good velocity. That last inning, I was grunting every pitch. I felt like Nolan Ryan. The only difference between me and him is he throws about 10 miles an hour harder.
Well, you pitched a very strong start. You worked 1, 2, 3 in the first, and then 1, 2 in the second. Then things got a little bit tough for you. The Mets were leading 1-0. You gave up a base hit to Thomas Howard. And then he stole second, and then Scott Coolbaugh singled to center field to tie the ball game up. And then after that, a walk. Were you getting a little nervous at that point?
Not really nervous. Both players hit pretty good pitches. I was just trying to get ahead with Thomas Howard, and he went the other way with it. And then I did fall behind to Scott Coolbaugh, and I had to come in on 3-2 count. And you know, just hoping he hit it at somebody, and unfortunately for me and for us, that he hit it up the middle.
And it went for the base hit that tied up the ball game, and then you settled down and gave up only 1 base hit after that. You struck out 5 in the ball game. That's your high in Major League Baseball, and also walked only 1, and a real good performance all the way around. But the only thing we say good about your hitting, you did sacrifice well once.
I didn't look good up there tonight.
Struck out your first time, but other than that, everything was fine.
Everything after that went smooth.
Well, Wally, congratulations on your second win in the major leagues. And, of course, your first came on your birthday, but you can't wait every year for a victory.
No, if I do that, I won't get that many wins.
All right, Wally, thanks for coming on, and we'll be talking to you a little bit later on.
Thanks, Ralph.
And we'll be back with more right after this message from Mitsubishi. Well, the Mets win it by a score of 6-1. These are the highlights of the ball game. Jeffries drove in the first run of the ball game. Coleman had singled, stolen second base, and then moved over to third in a fly ball to right field by Tommy Herr. On the infield base hit, the Mets take the lead 1-0. Didn't last too long as the Padres came back to tie it up. Coolbaugh singled to center field and drives in Howard. Howard had singled and stolen second base, and that made it a 1-1 ball game in the bottom of the second inning. But then Hubie Brooks took care of the ball game as he hits a grand slam home run, and the Mets lead it by a score of 5-1. For Hubie Brooks, it was his 7th grand slam in his major league career. his 5th home run of the year, and he now has 13 runs batted in. And then McReynolds follows with a single to center field to drive in Howard Johnson. Howard had walked, stolen second base, and that made it a 6-1 ball game. Schourek came in to relieve Whitehurst, and he picks up the final out of the ball game on a fly ball to center field, and the ball caught by Coleman. It was hit by Thomas Howard, and the Mets win it by a score of 6-1. And we'll be back with the scores of the other games right after this message from Dad Westbanks. Well, the Mets won it by a score of 6-1. Checking out the other scores in both the National League and the American League. Chicago defeated Atlanta by a score of 5-4 in that ball game. Osamaker was the winning pitcher. It was his first win of the year. He's lost none. The losing pitcher was Kent Mercer, and he's now 1-2. A save for Lee Smith, and it was his 9th save of the year. Dawson a home run in that ball game. It was his 8th home run of the year. Cincinnati over St. Louis.
Up to the plate and become a part of the hottest hobby investment of the night. Now available, the all-new hot off the press 1991 Collector Showcase Series of Upper Deck baseball cards from Great American Pastime. Upper Deck cards are rated best by experts. Each Collector Showcase volume contains 125 deluxe glossy player cards, the exclusive Great American Pastime binder, 14 protective plastic sleeves, and a certificate of original ownership and authenticity, suitable for framing. And that's not all. You'll also receive an informative collector's guide and a history of sports card collecting. There are 5 different Collector Showcase volumes, 625 cards in all. Purchase 1 volume for only $29.95, or order 4 now and receive the 5th volume plus 10 team holograms absolutely free. Start your collection today. To order, call 1-800-327-2500. Or send a check to this address.